Hey everybody, this is Heather from Storing Up My Treasures at Blogspot, and I have my third challenge item here, which is ribbon that for our Stashbuster scrapbooking series. And so I have a couple of layouts here I wanted to share with you guys of some ways that I incorporated ribbon into my layouts in different ways than I normally do, and to also help use up odds and ends and whatnot. So this first layout is a two-page layout, but I have my camera set up kind of wonky today, and it's not really allowing me to show more than one page at a time, so we'll just have to do it separate. So on this particular layout here, what I did is I used these chipboard frames and kind of made my own version of little prize ribbons, as you can see. This is a layout of when the kids went to go visit my husband at work, and so it kind of has a number one dad theme going on, and I actually think I'm going to give this to him for him to put up at work to look at. So anyway, so I did these ribbons, but bow ribbons up here, ribbon bows up here, and then I used the ribbon to make the tails for the awards, and then on this one just give it a little extra bow there. And then over here for the second page of the layout, same thing. I used my little ribbon down there to make the little tails for the award. So this one says "You are the best." That one down there says "Number One Dad," and then over here says "World's Greatest Dad." So, and then this is some Jenny Bolin paper I had, and I glued buttons in the center of all the bullseyes. And then I had a bingo card that I ended up using for my journaling spot, and I cut it in half. And then I used the other part of that card over here, and then down here I used it for this little strip right there. So anyway, another kind of a, it was a like a carnival type of a thing that the kids went to for Easter, and so I kind of went with an overall carnival fair type of a theme for this particular layout. So that's my first one. My second layout is this one right here, and this one is called Buttons and Bows. And so in this one, the ribbon, I actually have a couple of different ribbons here. All of these right here are ribbon. This is all the same ribbon. It was a long length of like a sheer ribbon that my mother-in-law had given me, and I really liked it, but I didn't really have a use for it, and so I figured I'd use it for scrapbooking. And what I did is I just cut it into different sections. I cut it and gave it like a forked, notched edge here. And then I used some gray grosgrain ribbon here, and then some coordinating gray thinner ribbon, and tied little bows. And then I have the button and bows thing. I have buttons here, and then I stamped some buttons up here. And then I stamped, it's hard to see, but this is a real light blue, kind of a floral background here and down here. And then, because I had gotten on a roll with using chipboard quite a bit in my last set of layouts, I made a little chipboard tag down here with the date. And then this is a piece of chipboard. It's actually a cardstock chipboard playing card that I just flipped over and I stamped on it. And then I used some chipboard corners, photo corners down there. So that is my second layout. My third layout is right here. I cannot take full responsibility for coming up with this layout. I scrap lifted this. If you go to Two Peas in a Bucket, and I believe it was this month, earlier this month, they have the layout videos where they show you 2 or 3 different layouts using a particular element, and she used ribbon, and I can't remember the gal who did it, but if you go to Two Peas in a Bucket and you go underneath their videos, you should be able to find it. And if I can find the link, I'll make sure and post it in my comments. And what she did is she used ribbon to make kind of a ribbon border along the bottom. And so that's what I did here. So I had a lot of different smaller lengths of ribbon, and I was actually able to repeat several of them, but a few of them I was not. And so I just made this kind of a ribbon border down at the bottom. And I really liked how this turned out. I thought this was really, really cute. And then I purposefully put it on just a solid cardstock background just to kind of keep it from getting too busy. And as you see up here, I did use some pattern paper, but I kept a pretty simple color palette. And in the rub-ons that I used, I tried to pull colors from the ribbon down here just to kind of tie everything together and just to make it kind of you know, look nicer together. So that's my third layout. My last layout, I actually made some embellishments myself out of ribbon. So if you look over here, all of these right here are ribbon embellishments that I made. And I was kind of going for like a Art Deco type of a look. And so I used some matte gold ribbon, cut it in different lengths. I had some of these real large bling kind of stones, and I covered them in some vintage lace. And then I glued these little swirl clips on the top of them. And then in a few of them I stuck some stick pins in there and used those for embellishment. So I made these embellishments for this particular layout. And then I also used some black and white ribbon here. And then behind it is actually some fabric trim that I had gotten out of a bag of vintage lace and trims and stuff from a secondhand haul a long time ago. So, well, not that long ago, several months ago. And I believe I showed that to you as well a while back. Anyway, and so I did use a pattern paper, but I kept it fairly simple color, not a lot of color going on. And then I used a green piece of ledger paper in the back. And I purposefully chose black and white photos since it kind of had an art, I was going for anyway, an Art Deco kind of a look. I figured that black and white photos would be fitting for this particular layout. So P is for Patches, our cat. And then this is just a little chip or a cardstock embellishment from a K & Company paper pack I had picked up quite a while ago. So those are all of my layouts that I wanted to share with you guys. So I wasn't as prolific this time, but I still had, you know, four different ones to share with you. So I hope you guys have come up with some ideas that some of these will be helpful for you. And again, if you come up with ideas or if you had an opportunity to work some ribbon into some layouts, you know, please feel free to send a photo or post a video, mention something in the comments. That would be awesome. I appreciate it. The more people that go and participate in the scrapbook or Stashbuster scrapbooking, the better. So I think for our next stash item to use in our layouts for this next upcoming episode, which will be this is episode 4, so we'll go over the items in episode 5. Let's figure out how to incorporate office supplies into our layouts. So anything that you could use as an office supply, whether they're an office supply or if they are a scrapbook item that's made to look like an office supply, or if it's scrapbook items that have an office supply or an office theme, you're catching my drift. So let's try to figure out ways of how to incorporate office supplies. So just some suggestions, you know, paper clips, staples, reinforcers, brads, Rolodex cards, you know, punch cards, you know, post-it notes, ledger paper, office supplies from the current, you know, that you would use currently, or office supplies that you would have used in the past. I'm going to leave it up to you guys to figure it out. So let's go ahead and figure out office supplies and put those in our next Stashbuster scrapbooking projects that we work on. Thanks so much for watching, you guys. Happy crafting.